Happy Aloha Monday. I am so excited for today's video. This is a special video because I am going to be doing a collaboration with a bunch of sweet, amazing mamas here on YouTube, sharing all things picture books, perfect for your kiddos, especially with I don't know, I'm gonna say summer coming up, but I know it's a few months away. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It's perfect for my homeschooling mamas that are wanting to introduce more books into their kiddos' lives. I just highly recommend you guys going and getting a cup of coffee, some snacks, a comfy seat, and just have yourself a playlist binge, okay? Today's video is hosted by Jennifer over at the Family of 3 Homeschool here on YouTube. Highly recommend you guys going to check out her channel. She is an amazing, sweet mama. She homeschools her daughter Ellie, and their channel is just all about the ebbs and flows of homeschooling. And if you are a newbie homeschooling mama, seasoned homeschooling mama, it doesn't matter. I feel like we are able to all bring something to the table and share with each other things that work for us, things that don't work for us. So don't forget to check out her channel and her video when you are done with this one. And let's jump into it. Y'all, I have a stack. As always. I have 3 categories that my stack includes. It is classics, nature, and then the last category is kind of a Mod Podge because it is a mixture of nature / words / books about books. So they all kind of flow into each other. One thing that you will notice is that all of my books, I absolutely love naked hardcover books. So a lot of picture books will come with a sleeve if you order the hardcover book. I don't really care for the sleeve. I know that's a waste of paper, but I absolutely love when a naked hardcover book is just banging, okay? I also love my watercolors, so you'll see that all of my books have those types of things in it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So the first category, which is classics, y'all already know. I love me some Anne of Green Gables. So if you are looking for ways to introduce classics to your kiddos, which I highly recommend doing from an early age, you can never be too early to introduce them, but finding picture books that introduce the story to them, so not unabridged, just adaptations. So it's not the chapter book style, but it's just bits and pieces that you're able to read to your kiddos in a picture book form. Okay, so the very first one I have here is the Anne of Green Gables set. There is a 4th one that comes out in March. This is adapted by Callie George, and pictures are by Abigail Halpin. I really hope I'm saying that right. So you have Anne Arrives, Anne's Kindred Spirits, and then Anne's School Days. Let me just go ahead and just show you the very first one, the naked hardcover. I love it, and it's matte feeling, and then the inside pages are even more stunning. I cannot, oh my god, I freak out every single time. This was just a really great way for me to open up the world of classics, you know, to my girls. And the pictures are stunning. They're all watercolor. So the very first one is just her introduction, how she gets to Green Gables, how she meets Marilla, and Matthew, and all of that stuff. So it gives all of the hardy pieces of the classic story. It's just broken down for little kiddos, you know. Look at this. It's so beautiful. Okay. So that is something that I would recommend. If you're able to find any of the classics in a picture book, I highly recommend. Don't sleep on that. I really wish that I would have been introduced to classic stories at a younger age, because I feel like now in my 30s is when I'm really starting to see the beauty of these classic literature, the classic books, and I absolutely love them. So if you're able to find them in a picture book form, just go ahead and do it. All right, the next category is going to be for my nature lovers, my homeschooling mamas. Even if you're not a homeschooling mama and you just love to get your kiddos outside and you guys love books about nature, I highly recommend both of these books here. So we have A Walk Through Nature, a Clover Robin peek through book, and this is by Libby Walden. I am sorry, I'm going to say it now. I know that I'm going to butcher some of these names that are either in the story or the story is written by the author, and I'm sorry, okay? I'm just, yeah, okay. So this one is a beautiful book that I picked up from our local zoo about a year and a half ago, I think it was. And this story, or this book, introduces, like, look at how beautiful these pictures are. It introduces poetry to your kiddos. It talks about all 4 seasons, and it's an interactive book. So the pages fold out, and you have these little, like, cutouts throughout the story. And like I said, it goes through each season. Let me go ahead and see if I can find. So you have spring. I think this was spring. Yep. Okay. Summer. I really hope I'm saying this correctly. You also have winter. Oh, spring. Okay, so this is spring. So yeah. And what I love about this book and what grabbed my attention is that it says, this engaging first book of nature encourages young readers to pause and notice when flowers bloom, discover why leaves change colors, and learn how birds build intricate nests. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at that. It's so pretty. Okay, so that's the very first book. The next one is Slow Down. This is 50 mindful moments in nature, y'all. Can we give this cover a minute? Because my necklace, my shirt, this cover, front and back. Oh my God. Okay. This is written by Rachel Williams. And it is a nature book that just talks about things that you don't normally think about, and just slowing down and having your kids recognize those things. So in the very beginning, you have a little poem. You have your table of contents. And then this beautiful little part here, it says slow down, stop, listen. And then it just talks about what the book is going to discuss. And you have over 50 different things. So how dew collects on leaves. It talks about how mama birds, let me see if I can find it. Oh, this one's so pretty. How a duck teaches her ducklings to swim. So really just embracing, you know, like how a chick hatches, all the things that, all the beautiful things that nature does or goes through or experiences that maybe people don't always notice, you know. There was something about bees in here. It even talks about mosquitoes. It's just a really beautiful book. It's kind of a heavy book too, y'all. Like my wrist is hurting. Okay. And then let me see where the one is about the, ooh, I'm sorry. I'm over here like reading the book again. The one that talks about the butterfly. Let me see if I can find it because I think it's just such a beautiful, I swear I should have bookmarked it. There it is. A butterfly emerges from a chrysalis. So you can use these for unit studies or just nature studies in general. Both of those books I highly, highly recommend just because they're so beautiful. Okay, the next category that I have kind of all intertwines. It's got a little bit of nature, it's got a little bit of words and how important words are, and that leads into like books about books. So I have here Welcome Flower Child, you guys. When this book came in, I was so excited. I have been on the hunt for that flippin' book that's at the end of Anne of Green Gables season 3 that her father wrote for her mother, and she's gifted it by Marilla and Matthew as she takes on this new chapter in her life, and that book doesn't exist, and I'm so upset about it. But this was like the closest one I could get. I know that there's other like languages of flower books out there, but I want that one. I want that specific one, and I won't stop till I get it. So okay, this one is Welcome Flower Child, the magic of your birth, the magic of your birth flower. And this is by Bridget Barriger. I'm really sorry. Barriger. Let me go ahead and show you the naked hardback. It's so beautiful. This would be a really great gift to give to if you have a friend that is expecting. So you can gift it. It says this book belongs to Born in the Month of. And this book talks about each month having a flower that represents them. So let me go ahead and open this up. It says, flowers bloom inside this book. Turn the pages, take a look. A flower blooms each month anew. Find the flower just for you. So you have January, which is carnations, you guys. Oh, this book is so beautiful. August, you have poppy. September is morning glory. Like, look at it. So I definitely think that this book would be a great gift. Give the gift of a book. I mean, I know mamas always could use, you know, diapers and wipes and all the fancy things, but books, these things stay with you forever if you really want them to, and you can pass them down to your grandchildren and all those things. I'm not even gonna get, that's a whole other video. Okay, so Welcome Flower Child, highly recommend for your own kiddos, and if you're looking to give a gift to a mama to be, this would be the one. Okay, the next one is, okay, The Keeper of Wild Words, and this is written by Brooke Smith. This book is so beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie, you guys, I pretty much teared up when I read the book. So it says on the inside cover, oh, let me go ahead and show you the naked cover. Okay, and then it says on the, what is it, dust jacket, no, not dust jacket, what is it called, sleeve, words disappear if we don't share them when we talk, if we don't write them in our stories, if we don't read them in our books, if we don't use words, they can be forgotten, and if they're forgotten, they disappear. When Mimi finds out her favorite words, simple words like apricot, blackberry, buttercup, are disappearing from the English language, she elects her granddaughter Brooke as their keeper. And did you know the only way to save words is to know them? Words, the woods, and the world illuminate this quest to save the most important pieces of our language by saving the very things they stand for. And I'm not too, this could just be my perception of it, but I feel like this book also has to deal with like grandparents or, you know, parents that are dealing with Alzheimer's because they're forgetful. My own grandpa, he actually passed away from Alzheimer's, and yeah, just like his, you know, ability to put together words and sentences and how they used to just disappear slowly. Watching that was really, really hard. So I don't know if that was like the purpose of this book, but I took it that way and I like bawled, y'all. Like I needed a box of tissue because the story was so beautiful. Okay, so this is Little Miss Brooke and her grandma Millie. And they go on a nature walk, and as they're on their nature walk, Brooke goes ahead and collects different words that she finds on their trip. And at the very end, so her grandma's, you know, like telling her stories as they go. Here is her list so far. And then at the very, very end of the story, there is a beautiful little envelope that encourages your own kiddos to be wild word keepers. So it says, you can be a keeper too. Your wild words will stay safe inside this envelope. So they're able to just go ahead and collect words as they get older, and just use this as a keepsake. I think that's this would be another really great gift to go ahead and give a mama to be. And as their kiddo starts to get into those school age years and whatnot, they can go ahead and put those wild words, or even like their baby's first words, into this book, and this book can just grow with them. So, oh, I love this story. Okay. The next two books are actually nonfiction books. So this is Digging for Words, and I'm going to butcher this name. It is actually a story about Jose Alberto. I can't say that last name because I can't say that last name, you guys. Okay, and the library that he built, and this is written by Angela Burke Kunkel. Y'all, I need to work on this, okay? I need to like look up how to say their names before we do these videos. Here is the hardback, or the naked cover, and then the inside pages. This does have like a glossier the glossier pages versus like the matte style. But this is it's a story about a garbage collector, Jose, and he prepares his truck for its route through wealthy neighborhoods. Senor Jose drives all night, scanning the sidewalks as he works, searching for hidden treasures. A young boy, because this story is about two different Jose's, a young boy dreams of Saturdays when he can visit Senor Jose's library filled with towering stacks of books rescued from the trash. This stunning celebration of community and libraries was inspired by the life of Jose Alberto, I can't say that very last part, sorry, who has helped to bring the magic of books to the children of Colombia. Like, oh, yeah. I need to work on this because, you know, I should be able to say this. Okay, so the story talks about the two different Jose's. The first Jose, the little Jose, he, you know, goes through his motions of getting through the week, and then once it's Saturday, that's his favorite day because he gets to go visit Senora Jose's library. Like, you guys. So, if I'm not mistaken, the author's note in the very back said something about, like, Senor Jose had to quit school as a younger child, as a teenager, maybe, I think it was, and he has to go to work. I'm not too sure if the circumstances were because his family needed him at that time, and I think that's what it was, but he has to go to work, so he's not able to finish school. Then one day when he's on one of his routes, he finds a specific book, and that book is the classic Anna Karenina, and that book just brings to life all the magic, all of the, you know, like, look at this, like the ballrooms lit by candlelight, sleighs gliding through snow. He found all of this stuff through that story, through that novel, and knew that he needed to bring that to his community to help children have a place where they can go to experience that themselves. So he created his own library. And as he goes throughout his routes, he picks up, sometimes he has to dig for the books, sometimes people will leave them on the side of the trash can for him so that they're not, you know, covered in yuckiness, and he goes home, cleans them up, and then every Saturday he goes ahead and opens up his library. So all of the kiddos in his community have a library to go to. And then at the very end of the story, it does have an author's note. So it just talks about how this impacted little Jose's life and how he found a love for reading. And then at the very, very end is the author's note. This is Jose working in his truck and him at his home library helping kiddos find books. So I absolutely love this book. This would be also a really cool like unit study you could do with your kiddos to learn about, you know, to learn about Jose Alberto Gutierrez. Ooh, Gutierrez? Ooh, I don't know. Okay, the next one, and don't judge me on this one either. Ugh. Okay, so the next one, the cover is stunning. This is Planting Stories, the life of librarian and storyteller Pura Belpre. Okay, yeah, and she even has, what is it? What is it called? How books are given awards. So if I'm not mistaken, Pura Belpre's, the Pura Belpre honor book honors books of Hispanic heritage. Please don't come for me if this is not correct. I swear I will Google more. I had no idea who the heck Pura Belpre was until I ordered this book. It came in. I was like, oh my God. And then I realized that I needed to get on this and like learn about this woman and follow in her footsteps because she is my idol, like holy crowly. So let me just go ahead and show you the naked cover, and it is matte, and these flowers are gorgeous. The inside cover, and this is actually Pura Belpre's, it's actually a folklore, a Puerto Rican folklore that she went ahead and created into a children's book, so a retelling of that folklore. Yeah. Okay, so it talks about her beginning and how so Pura Teresa Belpre leaves her home in San Juan for a visit to New York. So she leaves her town, or she leaves her home, comes to America, has to start all over, finds a job working in a garment factory, And she realizes that that's just not her calling. And then an opportunity comes up at the public library for a bilingual assistant. And Pura speaks Spanish, English, and French. So she was perfect for the job. And she became the first ever Puerto Rican female library assistant. I hope I'm saying this correct. Please correct me down below if I'm wrong or if you'd like to add to it, but please be nice. And she realized as she's working in the library that there's none of her history, her family stories, none of the stories that her abuela told her. And she was like, that's not cool. So she fixed that real quick. And she ended up doing like a story time for kiddos and was able to bring in stories from back home, a language that they recognize, and introduce that culture to the people of New York as well. But she was able to bring to life story time for these kiddos. Her eyes dance, her voice sings, like, oh my goodness, I cannot. And then she ended up writing the book. So this one is the folklore story about Martina, a beautiful Spanish cockroach, meets Perez, a handsome and gallant mouse, and their love story. I've never heard of it. I need to go and find that book. So it just talks about her impact, how she changed lives, you know, with telling stories and bringing those stories to life for these kiddos and making them feel comfortable, you know, being in a library where they didn't have any Spanish books or any type of literature that allowed them to hear stories from their homelands and where they were from. Like, that makes me so sad. So she went ahead and became an author. She wrote several books. She was honored, spoke at several different award events. She got married. She found the love of her life, Clarence Cameron White, who was a musician. And so she took some time off from the library. And unfortunately, when he did pass away, she decided to go back to the library and continue her work there. So I just think that this would be a really great story for Hispanic Heritage Month, and just introducing the importance of libraries, you know, and the importance of reading. And I don't know, you guys, I just think this book is beautiful in every shape and form. Okay, stick with me. 2 more books. So the last 2 books are from Usborne, and they are both about books. Luna Loves Library. There's also Luna Loves Art. This little girl is adorable. Here's her daddy in the back, and her mama does show up in the book as well. All of these pictures are like, not watercolor, what are they called? I don't know, they're matte watercolor, I guess you could say, but they're also sketched. This is by Joseph oopsie, I swear. Okay, so Luna loves Library Day. She goes through all of her supplies for her adventure, for her field trip. Daddy is going to be going with her. They get to the library. They start in the big book section. She finds books about dinosaurs, mummies, unexplained mysteries. And these books just come to life for her. Look at that illustration. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then Dad knows lots of magic tricks, like how to make coins appear from Luna's nose and ears. Dad knows how to disappear. Luna wants to learn how to bring him back. So she reads a magic book. And then Dad finds a history book about where he grew up. And then there's a story in the story. So Dad reads her this book, The Troll King and the Mermaid Queen, and their story. And I'm assuming they fall in love. I've never heard of it. The end, Dad gives her a hug, and it's just about her day at the library and how her experience went. And I think this book is absolutely, I love Luna. I love both of the stories that Usborne and Usborne Books and More has created for her. The last book, you've made it. The last book is The Book Without a Story. This sweet book, it is not a matte cover. There are some shinier parts on the book, as you can see, and the pages are shinier as well. But this one talks about Dusty, who is, let me see, where's Dusty? No, where's Dusty? Hold on. Meow, meow, meow. Oh, he's not, maybe that's this one. Okay, well, anyway, Dusty, the library book, has never been borrowed and dreams of finding someone to share his story with. Will he ever find the perfect reader? A celebration of library stories and the magic of reading. So there's a little boy that goes to the library, And Dusty, this book up here, has never been borrowed because he got left on the top of the shelf, okay? And he sees all these books getting checked out and then being brought back, and they're beautiful stories about the children that read them and took them home and took care of them and all these things. And Dusty's like, why? No one's ever borrowed me. So he gets super sad because he never thinks that his day is going to come. And then one day, what is it? Sophie came into the library with her dad and her little brother, Jake. Jake is the special little boy that changes Dusty's world forever because he finds Dusty and decides to take him home and reads him. And Dusty is a book about dinosaurs. And it just brings to life this world, you know, for him. And then eventually he gets returned, and then he gets to tell his story about all the things that he got to do when he was borrowed and how Jake took so much care of him. And then Dusty is no longer Dusty because he's being borrowed from all sorts of kiddos that come through the library. This is by Carolina Yep. I swear, you guys, I should have looked up how to say authors' names. So those are all of the books that I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. My videos are getting longer and longer. I swear I can talk your ear off. Don't forget to go ahead and check out the playlist down below. Go ahead and visit Jennifer's video right after this one. You won't regret it. She's super duper sweet and you're gonna love her videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to know what type of picture books that you have that you cherish in your household or that you're going to be using with your kiddos. Go ahead and drop that down in the comments below. I would love it also if you could show this video some aloha and give it a like or a thumbs up. And yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you can be notified every week when our videos drop on Monday and Thursday each week. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. The coffee's hitting and I'm really jittery, so I'm gonna have to go do something, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye!